You need
All
one
right.
of those.
Ready
Yeah.
to do that, actually. Yeah, we were just having such a great conversation. Now we're on video. Now
I
it's
know.
like, oh gosh.
What do we
No, but
talk
I don't.
about?
Well, it was great to talk. The last episode we were talking about Save the Family Farms, and then this new ordinance that was kind of in the air. Now
Yeah.
I think would be good to kind of pick up on that, and also for some of our listeners that aren't aware of Save the Family Farms, maybe you could talk about it and kind of say,
Sure.
what they are.
Sure. I mean, we just had a huge victory with the Board of Supervisors unanimously agreed to work with us to create micro winery ordinance, which is a huge thing for us because that means that we'll be able to host tastings here at Rahn Estate, and other like-minded and small businesses like us will be able to taste wine at their places, which is huge. So it's just the beginning. We finally got approval from the Board of Supervisors, which was a huge thing. But now that we've got it approved, we're able to get it going and have people up here come and taste with us.
And so the whole
huge.
idea behind Save the Family Farms is for people like us who have 10 acres or more, a vineyard planted, a wine program established, to be able to host people and sell direct to consumer from their property, which is a huge thing for us.
Of course.
We're too small for distributors, or if we do have distributors, they take a good chunk of the percentage of the profit, and we assume a lot of the risk. So this would be a huge win for Save the Family Farms if we can
Absolutely.
get this finalized and be able to apply for this.
Yeah. No, I think I saw that there's I don't think it was here last time, but the sign that like the alcohol permit thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was
Just-
pretty
yeah,
cool. I
just
was like,
put it up
nice.
there,
That,
yeah.
is that new? I was like, that wasn't here last time.
Yep.
So you got that whole process rolling out too, or something?
Yeah,
or?
so we're finishing up being bonded. So
Oh no. Okay.
yeah, so we're getting our O2 license for here, which is one of the things we would need to be compliant for this ordinance. So finishing that up, which is great. It's been a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I
Getting
love
it
that
going.
process.
But yeah, so that was an exciting moment when we got to hang that up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I bet like the
Yay,
process,
it's
like
real.
you could see kind of
Yeah.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Definitely.
Seriously,
Yeah.
and it's a bright tunnel. So we're
Yeah.
excited to have it actually leading in a direction that is going to be able to allow Hannah and I to sell wine direct to consumer here and have people up and on the vineyard, which is great. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. No, I think how you were mentioning earlier, I mean, if it's not you building this infrastructure and having people here, you could easily get bought up by other larger corporations, and they're going to do the same thing. you
Yeah,
know, and
they're
it's
going to do
terrible.
exactly that. Yeah.
And that's the main thing. We just, I think, was it Bruce or Brian who said it? Who was saying basically that you don't need to be a millionaire to be able
Right.
to be a part of the ag industry, and that's
Yeah.
truly what was the limiting factor for us. Is that we just want to have similar access to direct to consumer. So, and with this, we will be able to have that. So.
And one of the strong talking points about getting, approval for us to host tastings is that, there's kind of people saying, oh, it's going to increase traffic. And really it isn't, but what it's going to do is it's going to give the people who are already here wine tasting diversification in the type of experience that they can taste,
Yes.
They can go do the big fancy castle, but then they can also kind of see a little bit more of like humble Napa roots, kind of like what it was back in the 90s, walk the vineyard with a grower, have some more smaller intimate tasting experience. And, and that's going to be good for all of Napa.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
No, totally. Yeah, I think you could probably only go to the castle and the big wineries like maybe once.
Yeah.
And it'd be good because a lot of the small family wineries I feel like are on the hillsides, like off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Get more people off the trail and Highway 29
Yeah.
so people can get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. And
Yeah.
that's a big thing too. Is just also everybody's worried about traffic and other things. It's like no, it's just like Hannah said beautifully. It's diversifying the experiences that people can have here in Napa, and just people want different things. Some people want to do the big castles. Some people want to do the big wineries, and that's great. And the gold room and the red room and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But then there are also some people that are going, hey, I've done that, and I want to go back to Napa, so I want to
Yeah.
go meet some people and go, walk some vineyards and see some stuff and hear a story. So, anyways, we're excited with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it would probably be you two kind of hosting the tastings. And
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. It would be Hannah and I. Dad or Brian will also probably be involved somewhat, and Ma also. So we're all hands on deck
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
I mean, as a wine drinker and like wine lover, you really can't ask for a closer, intimate, tasting.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
You would probably pay extra to go taste with the winemaker, which you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
And
Yep.
you have access to them right here, and you guys are doing amazing things, and you
Mhm.
guys know the land, and
Yeah.
you're from here, and so it's like,
It's a
Yeah,
good
we
experience.
hope
It
that's
makes
enticing
sense.
for some people,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it will be, and I'm excited for it. We have a bright future, and we're excited to bring people up. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm super excited for you guys.
Thanks.
Like, it's huge. Like, I don't even think I was aware that small family farms weren't able to have people on their site for tastings. Like,
I
That's
know.
kind of a Napa County exclusive thing, though. A lot of other counties in California, you can make wine at a custom crush facility and develop a tasting room. So, it's just one of those things that when the WDO was created to originally keep family farms and Napa, what Napa is it's kind of now excluding that until this micro winery ordinance is now bringing in, because they're letting it kind of go back to what Napa used to be, is small people hosting people on their properties, and kind of doing what the rest of California already allows small growers to do.
Mhm.
yeah, too interesting. The WDO. So what is this?
The winery definition ordinance.
Ordinance. So and then what? So they kind of regulate how many wineries there are, how many people.
What
they can
permits,
see,
yeah.
stuff like
qualifies
that.
as a winery.
Think of it like it's a
Okay.
checklist of things that would allow you to have a winery here. So
Okay.
it used to be, if you were going to have a tasting room, well, they basically said if you want to have tastings, you have to have a winery. That's kind of the requirement right now. And a winery requires permitting and environmental impact reports, and basically this
And
laundry
lots
list.
of development.
Lots of development and a lot of work and a lot of land moving and all this kind of stuff in order to build the winery, and then you have the tasting room. We're looking at it like, okay, that's the WDO's definition. We're not trying to change that. All we're saying is we would just like to be able to have the same opportunity to have the tasting room, but not necessarily need this massive winery. And if we look at it in the scope of money, it's like, okay, this massive project to build this winery, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be these big
Yeah.
guys. We just want to be able to sell, what is it, Hannah? 10 visitors, 10 visitors,
average daily
10
trips.
average daily
Oh,
trips of
nice.
people who are already here. Just come on up, and if we're able to even fill those many slots,
I'm
have
sure
people
you
have
will.
people up,
Yeah.
have people up, and then taste here, and not need to make this huge change with the property and all this kind of stuff with that.
And one other thing that I want to add on is, we already talked about having that 10-acre minimum, which is one of those WDO, requirements. But also we will be fulfilling production on site, but we're doing it with pre-existing facilities. We're going to kind of, if this ordinance passes, we're going to do some changes, modifications to our garage, and we will be having some production on site. That production will, can vary, from vintage to vintage, but something like doing secondary fermentation in your barrels here will qualify as wine production. So we are still being compliant with, all of that checklist of the WDO, just not having the big facility production here.
Okay.
Yep.
So is it not enough to have the grapes on site? That's kind of wine production, because I mean, you're growing grapes. Does it have to actually be the wine?
It has to be like the processing
The
part
process
of
of wine.
wine. Yeah.
Taxes,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, well,
California,
just-
basically. I
California
mean,
gets
basically,
you.
we got to make sure that California gets paid. That's really what it comes down to. They just want to tax us. It has to go to a bonded facility and that kind of thing, and we're working on our bond. But either way, yeah, it comes down to taxes and the production. So, anyways,
Yeah.
that's the short of it. Comes
God,
down to
I
who's
love-
getting.
I love my taxes.
Yep, California, man, the state of
Oh,
taxes.
man. No, that's great. Yeah. Then you also said kind of on like what Napa is, So I think that'd be pretty cool to touch on that, and like even like what it was before, and like kind of what it's moving towards, and like kind of where we see it going. I think would be pretty cool.
Oh, that's a loaded question. No,
Yeah.
Napa was ag for a while. It
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily wine grapes. There was
Yeah.
pears and apples, and there was a huge cattle run
Cattles.
and horses, and olives was actually here. There's a lot of production here that was agricultural related. It just wasn't focused on grapes until
Yeah.
about the 70s and 80s, when Chateau Montelena basically was able to get that tasting that helped put Napa on the map. And then with
Right.
that being said, everybody started to pay a little more attention to California wines, in particular with Napa Valley. So that brought on the onslaught. of people wanting to come in and develop and create and just transition from one form of agriculture to another. And anyways, it's basically been the same ever since. Now it's valley to valley floor is grapes.
I think people started, I mean, Napa got put on the map, people started realizing how great the climate is for grape growing here, soils and climate, and it just blossomed. And then, what started out as kind of humble roots from an agricultural background started transitioning into, being a luxury type experience, a destination,
lifestyle.
And I've seen over the course of decades or so, it kind of transitioning from that humble beginning to a little bit gimmicky to me. I think in certain aspects, and kind of playing on the tourist aspect, making it like I think Dylan said earlier, that adult Disneyland,
I've heard that.
playing into that a lot, and so I'm hoping that with the passage of our ordinance and being able to develop that, we can kind of bring that back for people, where and that whole diverse experience again, go and do the tour the adult Disneyland, and then and then come over and see something of what Napa was before.
Rustic and real.
It's
rustic and real. It's Disneyland is great, and we all love Disneyland, but ultimately
no complaints about Disneyland.
Go visit Mickey.
Exactly.
Sure.
And it comes down to that experience, where you're getting a chance to meet the characters and do that thing, and that's amazing. But it really does come down to, okay, what kind of experience do you want? Well, if you want to do the big castles, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great. I've done it. It's a fantastic experience. But also, if you want to, go and meet the people and walk the ground and touch the grapevines and be involved and see what it's like to actually be involved with a farm like this, that's what we're hoping this ordinance is going to allow customers to do. And tourism is to increase the flow not only from Napa Valley but also to the small guys who have an opportunity. So they're already here. Just give them a chance to go somewhere else.
They're already here. That's a huge. I mean, they are.
They're already
we're
here.
not going to increase traffic.
No.
It's just.
They're already here doing their tastings.
They're already on 29 and around, and we can spread them out a little bit and, give them some different experiences.
Free, like you were saying, dude, let us drive back and forth up and down the valley and go to work, It's like, come on. 7 o'clock is brutal.
Or 4.
Or 4, going home.
Even worse.
And then, I mean, it's true. It's like, it's been compared to kind of Disneyland or like the Las Vegas of wine.
Sure.
And, and now it's kind of like you get to kind of go backstage.
Yep.
You get to kind of see like the heart and soul of the Napa Valley, and more people would prefer that over a million times over, doing the same thing over and over and flashing lights and things like that. I mean, they're great for, newcomers.
Sure.
That, are
want to see what it's about.
Want to see it, want to explore it, one-time thing or something.
Or whatever. Keep going back to the big guys. It's great. Whatever your choice is. The main thing is just being a difference, right? You want to come out and come and meet with us. Come and meet with us. We're nice people. I swear. We're nice people. I swear.
So you say.
We're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay. We're okay. You're okay.
Oh, I love it. Nice little flashback memories.
I know.
First episode.
Good times.
Good.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I think you're right. And then also like the diversification, especially going into like younger consumers, they want that experience.
Yeah.
They want to see where the wine is made, who's making it. Half the time, sometimes you don't even see the people that make it or own the place.
Or there's a glass wall between you and the winery. You can see it, but you just can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And that's what you get with this, is be able to talk to Hannah and I. You want to talk to the winemaker?
People.
There she is. You want to talk to the vineyard guy? It's me.
Yeah.
So.
I guess. All right. Well, what are one of the biggest challenges that you have seen as like being a winemaker, creating wine, that you kind of always seek to learn more about?
I think you're always learning as a winemaker. Every vintage is different. Every growing year is different. So there's different hurdles, different products, different technologies that are coming out, and you want to kind of stay on top of that and learn. Give it a try one year and see how it works out. But honestly, like the production standpoint, that's where my, schooling background is, and and I've done, worked in wine production for a while. But what's really starting to, where I'm really growing right now, is transitioning into this whole permitting, compliance, paperwork side of
The
things.
fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the fun stuff, exactly.
yeah,
yes.
that's
the dream job.
yeah, I mean, it's a part of the job, and
Yeah,
so that's
totally.
kind of one of the new roles I've been starting to dabble into with trying to get this program, going and ready for when we can get that ordinance. So, yeah, but also some new happenings that we're doing is we're getting ready for our rosé to get bottled. So that's exciting because we've never
Nice.
had. I mean, this isn't. I would qualify it like white wine. It's technically a rosé, but we've never offered anything other than red wine
Red.
before.
Yeah,
So
rosé.
so this is exciting. Yeah. So this is exciting to kind of finally have like a new product to offer people, and that's getting ready to, like I said, we're working on doing some finding trials with that and get it ready for the bottle. Yeah.
Nice. How does that whole process look like? Choosing your glass? Do you have to do specific corks, foils?
Yeah.
That's another thing that we're all learning together, is just going, oh my God, now we have a whole nother creative process beyond just the growing of the grapes and making of the wine. Now we got to make it presentable.
Now we
and
gotta make it
something
look
that we can
pretty.
give to people.
Marketable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, all right.
Yeah, I think stories, I think also stories have a huge impact, on kind of who they're supporting
Yeah.
and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm actually meeting with somebody down in South Napa to work on getting our label, the vision for the rosé label worked out. So, yeah, so and I've been learning all about, like the different types of tools that they have to make labels, and I mean they've come a long way, like they
printing.
can make it look, the printing. I mean the tricks and things that she's been talking to me over the phone about, we can use this like metallic dye to, and then go over the metallic dye to make it look like a foil, but it's actually a dye, and it's like, oh, that's great. Let's do that. That sounds way cheaper. So yeah, it's been cool.
Nice. What can you say about the vineyard? What
Well, Hannah touched on it. Year to year is every year's different. You don't know what you're going to get when it comes to rainfall, when it comes to farming practices. Frost is always an issue that we have to deal with. In Rahn Estate here, we have 2 of our frost machines that we have to keep these guys protected.
That's one of them.
There's one, and there's another one down below in Dylan's block, and. Anyways, every year is different, and so you have to keep applying the same mentality of trying to go, okay, I know the rough idea as to what happens in what order, but when. And that's where Mother Nature rolls the dice on you. And you have to kind of look at it and go, okay, cool, from experience, this is what I know, and from looking at the grapevines, these are what they're telling me, and going, okay, cool, let's stay keeping them in balance and keeping quality. And so anyways, every year is different. Like Hannah said, there's technology. It's always coming out. There's all kinds of stuff that's coming out right now.
The
but
Monarch tractor, have you seen that
I
one?
have. Yes, I have seen that. There's a lot of really cool technology like that that's out there. Actually, CVC, one of the things we do is we dabble in technology a lot. It's one of the things I think I was showing you guys last time, was we have those temperature sensors we've got up there. So we got all kinds of cool geeky stuff that's out in the vineyard, and using these new tools to help with our farming and really make sure that we're, giving them enough water to be functional but not over irrigate. And that's the whole thing, is deficit irrigation. That's the key thing, is deficit irrigation. What is enough water? That's the main thing, is what is enough water.
Stress is good.
And being as green as possible with trying to reduce our spray applications. Again, using other technology that CVC does, being spore traps, that allows us to essentially knock off, if Mother Nature is working with us, a spray or 2 a year, which is awesome. And if you're not running your tractor, you're not applying pesticide, you're not doing that kind of stuff, it's great. That couldn't be more green.
Yeah,
so, anyways, more exciting things from us.
Yeah, no, I love it. I was about to touch on, because I saw, I think in an article the other day, that bud break had happened, I think in Sonoma.
Yep,
Yeah, I heard
bud
that.
break is on.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy, dude.
Because it was literally, did you guys get snow up here?
We had
didn't-
crazy hail.
You can see some of it still on the top of Mount St. Helena, but the whole thing of Mount St. Helena was like covered in snow, but we didn't get snow here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like,
We just had crazy hail.
the hell was
Yeah.
insane.
It was crazy.
Like for
It was crazy.
10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
it's
it was
just
bizarre.
Jumping hell. I was like, oh my god.
Just hiding in the office going, oh my goodness, just hiding here. Thank God he got the roof on.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was wild.
It was a crazy time, man. Yeah.
So what are your plans moving forward with, like, now that you know that potentially August?
Yeah,
I
September.
mean, yeah, around August.
Yeah, August, September. Well, you know, just as far as the group goes, it would be working, you know, with the board of supervisors to get something up and going. And, you know, we're pretty much prepared for what we would need to do. You know, we've talked about this, you know, what it would look like, you know, to have our ordinance and stuff. So we've got a good idea of what we would need to do. You know, we already talked about we're going to change the garage out a little bit. You know, we can't make any new structures, but we can,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
change up it's already existing structures.
Yep.
And so we've already kind of got a vision for how we're going to do that.
Yep, and new release and all kinds of
It's a
stuff.
little windy today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Sorry, listeners, this is what you get when you're
Out
outside.
on the farm.
Yeah, on the farm, guys. Come on.
This property is like nicknamed Windy Gap too.
Yeah.
So it's a
Love
little
it.
extra windy. I always forget that when I go from my house. I live up in England, just up on the road. And when I come here in the mornings to walk Parker, I won't have a sweater on because it'll be
Ooh.
warmer. And then I'll step out and I'll be like, oh, that's right.
Still sweater
It's-
weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's windy here.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I love it. Yeah, you got the lights set up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a
Then
fun time
do you
on the
think
patio.
this would be a potentially like a tasting table for the future?
Well, we're working
That's
on
why I
that, but
kinda
it's
like
definitely a
this table.
tasting site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for sure, the view
I mean,
from
this
here is
is-
gorgeous.
This is a
and
great view. You
Yeah.
know,
It is.
hard to beat that.
hard to. And yeah, this is definitely where people, when the ordinance is passed and we're all square, this is where we'll have people. So.
hmm
How long do you think that process can take?
Well, it's a 6-month window, and in 3 months we have our review with the board of supervisors. So we're
Okay.
we've already put together a draft a couple of times of the ordinance.
Yeah,
We're just
there's like
working
paper.
with the county planner now, and so we're kicking it back and forth, and then our official review with the board of supervisors in about 3 months, and then on the 6-month mark we finally present the already edited ordinance that we've worked with them on, and then we present it to them. And usually about that time, hopefully. You know, if we continue doing the quality work that we do, it'll be a rubber stamp, and they just come in, look at it, and say, "Yep, you guys did exactly what we wanted, and here you go."
Oh,
So-
man, that would be so awesome.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, well, one of the
Yeah.
things that was, in addition to the unanimous support to move forward with this ordinance, was one of the comments we got was, you know, that we did this the right way. You know, that we've been
Yeah.
working with them for a couple of years. Our core team has been working with them for a couple of years. And, you know, presenting something, getting feedback, adapting, presenting something, getting feedback, adapting. And so now, you know, to be at this point where we've already kind of, you know, worked with something that they would think we could build on is a huge, you know, jumping off point. You
Yeah.
know, we're starting off
That's
at a good spot. And
We're not going in blind
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
them saying, "Okay, you guys have 6 months to put something together," and it's like, "Well, we've already been working on this for 3 years." So,
so we're pretty-
we
yeah.
you know, we've already bounced it off of you guys a couple of times, had some feedback from some of the supervisors individually. So I mean, this is definitely coming down the pipe when it comes to, okay, this is just, you know, we're on the tracks to getting this thing going.
it's still a lot of work ahead
Yeah.
of us, but we're on the tracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's good. Yeah.
The major
Especially
hurdle
now.
is passed when they said yes to at least saying, "Hey, let's talk
work
about this.
together,
Let's work
yeah.
together."
Mhm.
That was the biggest thing. Now that that's happened, now it's like, okay, cool. Now the real work begins.
Yeah.
But we've
Yeah.
already done a lot of the real work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so, anyways,
Yeah. No, I think there's also a lot of, you know, support around the community. So,
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot of really, you know, people out there that are supportive of, you know, small family farms, and, you know, so I think you know,
It's gonna
hopefully it
happen.
all just, yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
It's
know,
gonna
like
happen.
a matter of when.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to support
but
small
soon.
business?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in this economy, that's the whole thing. Is like small businesses need help. We need the same opportunities others do. Everybody wants to promote small business, and so,
it's
anyways,
the economy.
Yep.
You know, it's
help us out, man. We got to pay rent too, you know.
Yeah.
So help
No,
us out and come on out and hang out with us.
No, I'm totally with you, and you know that's the one thing I love about small businesses, small family farms, is you get to meet the people. You know, they're just like people like you and I. You know,
Yep.
and it's like you can't get that anywhere else. And
It's difficult, especially with the larger things. But either way, yes, that's the main thing that we offer is quality wine and experience with the people that live here.
Yeah.
You know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's very exciting. And then when do you think your rosé is going to be bottled so we could get it out there?
I'm aiming for end of April.
End of April?
That's my timeline. And, and then hold on it for a couple of months before we release it. But, I want it out.
Like a summer wine?
Yeah, I want it out in time for summer, know.
Nice.
Who doesn't want to drink, cold rosé on a warm summer day?
And really good
rosé.
rosé.
Yeah. Good tagline.
Hey.
You saw it here. So.
Buy it now.
Yeah, like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How would you describe this rosé to get some people excited about it?
Oh man, well, it's a labor of love,
It's really good. It's got really crisp flavor to it. It's got it's clean. That's the best way to describe it. It just goes down really easy. Acid's really well balanced. Hannah does a really great job with her wines. Her wines are always really fantastic, and it's really balanced. It's got good mouthfeel. For anybody that likes a great rosé that has flavor and is balanced, that's what you're going to get with this, and it's quality. That's the main thing. So Hannah does a great job.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Well,
I agree. It's good.
Of course.
We make wine we like,
Well,
so if Hannah doesn't like it, then
well, that's
we're
a
not
great
gonna sell it.
freedom that I get to have too. Is that a lot of winemakers kind of have to
Recipe.
well, or make wine that they're told the style. We need it to be this style, or we need it to be like this, and like a super buttery Chardonnay, not something I'm particularly into, but. Being it's just our family. I kind of get to be like, ooh, okay,
we like this.
Yeah,
this is what I would drink.
Exactly,
So,
this is what I would drink. So that's how I'm gonna make it. And,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So definitely. It's got great acid. It's got wonderful cranberry notes. It's got some grapefruit on there. Big, nice palate. Well-rounded. So, that's how I like it. Nice and fruity and crisp. So. That's what I gotta make.
Dude, it's awesome. Wait till
it's watering.
Yeah, wait till you try, dude. It's gonna be great.
We'll definitely give you some.
Yeah.
So.
And if our listeners wanted to, check you guys out, learn a little bit more about Save the Family Farms or Rahn Estates, we have Dylan and Hannah here if they want to connect with you on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok,
definitely.
whatever you're on.
Me dancing around on
dancing
TikTok.
with
Nobody
Parker.
wants to see that.
Instagram, Rahn Estate is a great way. Our Facebook page too.
Yep, Rahn Estate's great, and we'll have a code for CY Unity for when our rosé releases. So you guys can go through us, and if you guys are here following us, definitely go through them and use the code that we'll provide when the wine is officially released. And just find us somewhere. We're out there.
Save the Family Farms has their website too. You can just check them out on their website and give a little bit more of a read. There's some good blogs on there.
And there's YouTube videos. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it. And how can we support you? And any way our listeners, maybe buy some wine?
Buy some wine, man. Come on out, buy some wine. We can't bring you up yet, soon, but whenever you guys can, jump onto the website. It's fully functional. Buy some wine. We'll ship it to you. Get a handwritten note from Ma. So
Cool.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much
Thank
again
you
for
guys.
hosting us on this amazing property, and we look forward to doing some more.
Yeah, you guys are doing great
episodes,
work.
so.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
you.